Okay. All right. Carrying on.
I was looking through the binder too, and then I found this amazing handout. It's 3.8.4, and it gives you like a perspective of what's happening from the child's point of view. I don't think we ever do that. Well, we do, but what happens before, what happened at that time, and what happened from the child's perspective. I feel like it's a great way to see the result of a behavior or how we handled it, because that's also a good way to say, hey, maybe that wasn't the best way to handle the situation as a teacher.
How might our perspective be different than the child's perspective?
Well, he's thinking or she's thinking, teacher took my toy away and I was playing with it, so it's a meltdown. But we think we fixed it by removing it from the situation. But they see it as a different thing, as something negative.
That's very true. That's very true. And how could that help in problem solving? Like by us thinking, oh, how is the children, or how is the child perceiving this? How could that help us to help them solve the problem?
Well, we think we're modeling for them what could happen in a situation, but then they're thinking we just took it without explaining. Well, I'm going to remove this so that we can talk about what just happened instead of just taking it. If we say why we're taking it right then and there, maybe they can process what just happened.
Okay,
So slow our bodies down enough to say, I'm going to take this right now so that we could talk about the scenario that just happened.
That's a great insight.
We can step in and say, okay, it looks like we took it away because you two were fighting for it. How about we go get a timer? That's a way to teach it at the moment.
One of the problem solving skills.
Yeah.
I wonder, I'm just thinking about, that was like a really good insight too, Judy, of slowing ourselves down and explaining it to the child, or even after explaining it to the child, because you don't really like necessarily think that, oh, they need to know why. Sometimes we think, oh, they know why we're taking this toy, they know what they did wrong, you know. And so sometimes it's like, oh, they don't know.
They don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's not on. Whoops, that's all right. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted, but yeah, so that could definitely help in problem solving itself, just from the teacher's, from the teacher's standpoint. Slow it down, explain. Yeah. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to bring up before we move on to the next part?
I think we touched pretty much
Everything on
that one.
Are you guys ready to, well, we're not going to do the videos yet, but before we get into the videos, was there any reflections or anything that you noticed or wanted to talk about what you guys have been implementing, the PDAs and the friendship skills? How has that been going?
I think that changes. It's going well. We're doing a pretty good job, I would say, of giving PDAs. Like Mateo has been here the longest, so now he does things without being asked. Like he cleans up without being asked. He pushes the chair without being asked. So at this point he's got it because he's been here so long. So all those PDAs are just like in his brain without us having to say them, but we still do. Yeah.
So why do you think he's doing that stuff without being asked?
He's been rewarded so many times for doing it in the past with our PDAs. That is just automatic for him at this point.
So he probably likes getting them.
And
likes getting those PDAs.
That attention. Everybody looks at him when he's cleaning before the bell rings. Yeah.
What do you notice the other kids doing when they hear Mateo receiving PDAs?
Well, then they want us to look at them. I'm picking up something.
I cleaned up. Putting
So then
this
they
away.
want brought the attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
which is good because that's like that's what we've talked about with PDAs is kind of like the desired result. And so that it was something that you guys wanted was cleanup time, you know, to get more kids to clean up. So it sounds like there are some results happening in that aspect. Is there anything that you guys have been noticing about friendship skills?
Well, I think our timing on this pyramid strategy that we focused on really helped the new kids because we were already improving on what we're saying to the kids about friendship and safety. So we were just really hammering that. So the new kids that just came in by coincidence are getting hammered with us doing that right now too. So they're benefiting and they're seeing like all the good modeling and, you know, just us really giving a lot of PDAs for being friendly, which is a good way to start off being friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could, you know, focus on the safety and all those other ones. So I think that the timing was really good for the new kids
Yeah.
because we were still hyper focused on the friendly
Mm-hmm.
PDAs.
Yeah. Now I'm
Social emotional.
thinking like, oh, imagine being, you know, one of those new kids and how it probably feels hearing all this stuff and seeing the kids acting a certain way. Because they're very little. The new
Mhm.
kids are
Yeah.
very little. They're very observant.
So maybe at home they didn't hear, oh, you're being friendly as often as we say it here. So now they're feeling like, oh, I'm being friendly. Like they just probably didn't really have a name for what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're so focused on it right now, because it's our strategy, we're giving them a lot of words, positive words.
Yeah, how has it been with the new kids? Has it been challenging at all, separating from moms, or
I think they're always ready because they're, you know, they see all the toys and they see all the excitement. But we didn't struggle with the parents this year, the crying. But
It was
I-
a struggle last year for some reason, but this year the newer ones that came in
just came.
late, and they were late, you know, they just came in and did whatever they had to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't difficult.
well, yeah, and I'm wondering if that's like what you were saying is like, oh, they came in at a good time and they are seeing these things. So I wonder if that's why there isn't as much crying, or
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe.
Mhm.
so we're starting right away at the bottom of the pyramid with that
True
foundation,
story.
right as they come in. That's nice. It is really nice to have, you know, a small group of new kids seeing the role models.
Right.
That's a
Older,
cool.
yes, yeah.
And even if we, just because it was our strategy that we focused on, the
Mhm.
friendliness, like, I feel like hopefully we could start that next year, just start with the friendly and then like halfway through hammer like the safety.
Mhm.
You
And
know,
that's
like,
something we can think about for the coaching action plan when we talk about what we
Okay.
want to do for next year. That might be,
like just hammer like the friendly,
Yeah.
friendly, like the first month and then
Yeah.
the next month hammer safety, and
the
then
expectations. Yeah.
Starting
just
slow.
do the PDAs
Yeah.
with
Well-
instead of all of them at once.
Yeah.
Maybe we could break them down to 3. I mean, of course, if someone's jumping off the top of the slide the first day, you're gonna say it, but focus on the friendly maybe
Mhm.
for a month and then.
Yeah, because even if you guys are super focusing on friendly, I've seen, and it might be in these videos or, you know, just from my observations, but I've seen, you know, you guys use PDAs about everything.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you do want, like, you guys kind of have, like, we're still working on the PDAs, but you guys are pretty solid in that area from what I've seen. I always hear some sort of PDAs.
Yeah.
And so that will really help.
To kind of teach
For-
it slower, like Judy said.
Yeah, it will really help for like
Implement it.
honing in on certain things. The longer you're doing the teaching pyramid, the more that you can like, it becomes like a little bit of a second nature. And so then you can really be like, okay, you're gonna focus on this, but you know in the back of your head that
Oh,
you're also
feeling.
doing the other things
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are you guys ready to see your beautiful videos?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to part 3 of the what's this called? Standing agenda. Part 3 of the standing agenda is the videos. So here we go. So as yeah. Oh, let me start my timer. Okay. So as you're watching this video, focus on the social emotional teaching strategies that teacher Judy is using.
Uh,
I don't know how to make it full screen.
No, we
so
can see
I'm
it.
just
oh, at least I have a kid outfit.
gonna- You need one? Gabby, can you get Liam a water bottle?
We're starting. Well, here's a pie. Here's a pie.
Them old ladies so ugly.
So tell me about your thoughts about that little snippet.
Well, she's
right?
saying, tell me about your pie or you're cooking for your friends by teaching the kids, to do things for somebody else. That's friendly.
Mhm.
And then that'll help them, like, when their parents are cooking for them, they'll like, oh, that's being friendly when someone's
Mhm.
cooking for me.
So what strategies did you do to kind of encourage that in this
I-
video?
I also had something in my hand to contribute to what they were already doing and offering them something as well, like they were offering me.
Yeah, you were engaging in their play.
You also moved away when you saw the kids coming in and out, like you were giving them their space. You stayed outside. You moved from that to this side to kind of give them a space without stopping the conversation.
Yeah.
So you didn't leave right away.
Yeah. So before I have a few more questions I wanted to say about that, but I did just want to kind of bring it back to the inventory of practice also, which is the little action plans that you guys would do in here. Where are they? Do you guys remember what the inventory of practice is? All the little, what are they called?
Oh, white tab.
Yeah. Yes, there we go. So
Oh, that's right.
all these the little things, there are so many indicators in the teaching pyramid, and it's so hard to keep track of all of them.
Mhm.
So I just kind of put a few that I saw you doing,
Oh, nice.
just because sometimes it's so hard for teachers they think they're not doing anything, and then you see, oh, you're actually doing all these things that are teaching pyramid strategies.
Well, like right now when you asked me, like I'm like, which ones did I touch? But like you
Mhm.
said,
Yeah,
I
so
think
it's
so.
like I did number 13, promoting friendship skills among children using deliberate teaching strategies. So there were opportunities for peer interaction embedded in the daily routines and daily activities. A variety of strategies, you were scaffolding, modeling, acknowledging, encouraging. You were prompting the children to respond to their peers, and you were giving PDAs, and you said you did this, and that was friendly. So those are just some things that I just wanted to point out. Like, you are doing these
Thank
specific strategies.
so when you send me the video, can I get that copy so I can remember what I did there?
Yes.
Those two match up. So, like for me, it's hard to remember. I was prompting the kids' response, which of course that's giving positive. Just I see, like you just broke it down.
Yeah, and it's just the things that you just do. And
Okay.
sometimes it's just, it's good to remind yourself that these are not just whatever things that you're doing, like they are intentional teaching skills.
There we go.
Okay.
So just based on that, well, not just based on that video, but after seeing that video, how might teaching friendship skills impact the children?
Well, or just making it seem so fun by giving them PDAs. Like, oh, it's so fun to be friendly.
That's a good point.
I mean,
that is, yeah.
I hope.
And there's, there are other things in the inventory of practice too that say, what's it called? I can't remember what it is, but it's like showing enthusiasm, like being
Ah, yeah,
enthusiastic
yeah.
with your PDAs and with and so you're very good at that.
Also, like when we teach it to them, they end up teaching it to one another, so they need less of our teaching when they kind of got it going for themselves.
It just shows respect.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, showing that playing and being friendly is respectful and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
And what do you think that the children are experiencing when they hear you saying that they're being friendly?
They're feeling proud.
They are feeling
Proud.
proud. And we are feeling proud also. Mm-hmm. All right, let's look at the next video. So as you watch this video, pay attention to how teacher Sophia is creating supportive environments.
Okay, one more. Say, please, you good friend and help me. Good friend. Martinez wants you to be a good friend. Mírate, va a ayudar. Te va a ayudar a
Is that your phone in here?
Wait, look, there's another piece over there.
Oh, because you're music.
Él está haciendo botanico, ayudándote a poner la planta. Y aquí ponle, open here, play. Wow, you being good friends, working together, you got it! Try again. Otra vez. Matías, eres buen amigo, también se puede. ¿Qué quieres? Hey, what do you want to play? Te quiere ayudar a arreglar la de su amigo.
That was a good video. So what are your thoughts initially?
There is huge divide between them, mainly because of language. But Dia speaks very little English, and Clay has no idea about Spanish. So it's always an issue with them too. But they're around the same age, and they do want to play together. You can tell that they're like, hi. It's just mainly language for them too.
It looked like Mateo's was struggling with sharing more than the language because they parallel play. Did it look like they were struggling with sharing? Is that what the problem was?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
They both wanted to work together, but they didn't know how.
The language definitely like
Mhm.
adds to it.
Clay would tell him, "I want to help you." Matthias like, so
Oh,
yeah.
Clay would say those words.
I told him, "Say, I want to help you," and
Oh.
then Matthias was like, "No," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were right there, and because if you were not there, it probably would have been a very different situation.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of words that I was hearing and a lot of prompting and helping like that. So, before we get to some more questions, just some of the skills and indicators that you were doing for designing supportive environments. We saw PDAs, PDA plus. You were conveying, conveys enthusiasm while
Oh,
giving PDA and PDA plus. You were giving PDAs contingent on their efforts. So even if they were like not successful, you were giving PDAs based on that. Involving other peers in acknowledging the children. You were giving PDA to reinforce their engagement. So yeah, did you guys see all of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of stuff in there. So, what do you think they were feeling in that moment, the kids?
They each
Yeah.
wanted to work together, but they didn't know how. Or maybe they had different ideas on how to put the puzzles together.
What kind of feeling words? Like if you just
Ah.
had to say like one or two feeling words of how they might be feeling,
anxious because they didn't know how to put it together.
Anxious, yes.
Maybe at the end of the day happy because they ended up doing it. They
Mhm.
ended up putting the little thing together.
Mm-hmm. And so how did the friendship skills, how did they align with like your specific values, perceptions, and beliefs?
So,
Like,
this-
what do you guys think about, like, as adults, about friendship skills, just with anybody?
Well, I feel like when I have a friend, I hope that it's for a long term, not just short term. That's what I think of these kids. I'm like, oh, these kids might like be here for the next 4 years, and hopefully this is like their
Mhm.
foundation and the beginning of a long-term friendship.
What do you do with like your friends to ensure kind of, or to like move forward with, oh, this is a friendship that is gonna be,
you check on them. You give them you give them the good one, the positive, but also the negative. You do things with them so
Mhm.
you can bond. That's what they're doing. You know, they're here 5 days a week, so they see each other every day. So that's, you know,
Yeah, that's why I
They-
like when the parents invite everybody. Like you
To the
hope that a
parties?
few come.
mm-hmm.
I feel like that just is building that friendship for later, which it's going to make them comfortable when they go to the kindergarten and they see a familiar face right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's great that they're continuing this outside of the school, this
Yeah.
classroom. You mean?
And that's like, and teaching pyramid is so awesome in that way, in that it really is building them, giving them skills for their future. Like it just kind of, this is the foundation of learning those skills, and kids
Mhm.
pick up these things so fast, and it's going to benefit them in the future.
right?
Okay, let's do the next one. So as you watch this video, pay attention to how teacher Judy is creating supportive environments.
I like the way Josue is sitting. He's being a good friend and he's listening to the teacher. And Willow is listening to the story. That's being kind.
Spider-Man. Oh, the lava.
And Papa Bear. Hi, Papa Bear. Josue's really being friendly. He said, hi, Papa Bear. And they're participating. They were cooking, and it turned out their fruit was really hot. What do we do when it's hot? So, they decided to go for a walk.
Oh, we just got there that day.
Mm-hmm.
And they went out.
A long time ago. Has he
Mhm.
been there that long? Oh, sweat?
He was very new at that
He
point.
was,
Wow.
that
Very
was his
new.
first week, maybe second.
Mm-hmm.
He's this week.
But so that's an interesting thing to notice, because he was participating a lot in that video. But why do you think he was?
Because he felt safe. He already saw that everybody else was interacting with each other, so he came right in to that interaction. So he didn't feel like, hey, what's going on here? It was very familiar, I would say.
And what kind of PDAs did you hear specifically towards Josue?
Friendly because he said hi to Papa Bear. So, yeah.
There were a couple of PDAs in there. There were a handful of PDAs. I heard Judy, you were saying that he was participating, and you were saying that, so it's like, of course he was participating. You were telling him, oh, look, Josue's participating, and he, as this new student, is like, oh,
On it.
you're giving me this attention, you know, you're noticing what I'm doing, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. He copies a lot of the positive behaviors that he sees. I've
Mhm.
noticed him like sitting down crisscross. So
Mm-hmm. And some kids do seem to like catch on to it really fast. Like he
Mm-hmm.
likes PDAs, and that's what I've noticed in a short amount of time that he's like, I want to hear those PDAs. So
He's gonna do well.
yes. So Judy, I can send you this one also. Some
Okay.
things like some specific things that I put that I noticed from designing supportive environments. You were using PDAs and PDA plus. You were frequently engaging with the children using the PDA as it was happening and PDA plus. You were giving them the PDAs contingent on their efforts, kind of like we talked about with Sophia's. And they were designed to reinforce engagement in appropriate behaviors, just like reinforcing Josue to participate. And you were for sure using a 5-to-1 ratio of PDAs to neutral comments or directions or corrections. I don't think I heard any directions or corrections in there. It was all kind of PDAs. So let's see.
That may have not have been the best time because she was talking to talk over her.
Well, I remember you were a little bit nervous about, like, you were thinking, oh, this wasn't like a really good observation. Like, you know, Amber caught that on video, what's going on, but it actually, it had a lot in there. You did a
Right.
lot of PDAs and you were being supportive also to Gabby, to the other
Mhm.
teacher, who was doing her activity, and you were kind of just giving the PDAs to being like, you guys are doing Gabby's activity, you guys are, you know, and that was helpful in itself to Gabby to have you kind of keeping the kids there, keeping them engaged. So let's see, what strategies did you see Judy do to promote relationships and design a supportive environment?
But just comment on their participation and just being enthusiastic about it and modeling.
Mm-hmm.
So it made it easy for them to follow if they wanted to, just because I was modeling. Like when I said hot, I went,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that was it.
Yeah, and then I actually have it noted here that what we already talked about, what happened when you gave Josue the
Oh.
PDAs.
Mhm.
And yeah, he was like having the time of his life. He was doing
Right.
the things you were doing, and like you said, he was participating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you're watching this one, focus on the social emotional teaching strategies that teacher Sophia is using. And so I believe these are the same kids. These are Matthias and Clay again, I think.
Oh, Matthias wanted to build with somebody.
Oh, he did. So he did enjoy that play thing.
Who's gonna be a great friend of
Oh, they're back.
Ah, David.
So tell me about
What does
that
he have?
now.
Oh,
They have
The capes,
The little capes.
superhero capes. So how do you feel watching that video?
I was trying to get other kids to join, but nobody wanted to do it. So then I stepped in. I should have let Liam kind of take the lead or given the little puzzle piece to Liam so he could do it with Matthias. But then he kind of like backed away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't guess he doesn't want to do it. But I was looking for other people, but they were just doing other things.
Mm-hmm. And what were you saying? What were you saying to try to get like other people to?
I was like, I wonder who's going to be a great friend and see if somebody would want to do it. And Liam was the only one.
and I like that you said great friend. So it wasn't just like a friend. It's like the greatest friend. So I'm sure that was like,
Greatest
It was a
friend.
big deal.
let's do it.
Let's
Big
be a
deal.
great friend.
That's cute.
So I have here you were intentionally teaching friendship skills. You were organizing the play, sharing, taking turns, being helpful, acknowledging the peers. You were based on their developmental needs. You were like individualizing what you were doing, and you were saying names of people, and you were helping, you know, Mateo or Matthias. You were prompting the children to initiate interaction or respond, and you were referring to the children instead of an adult for assistance. Which, like, that's pretty cool. You were like, we need help over here. Which
Cool.
friend can help, you know? Who's, yeah. So how does that promote social and emotional skills?
Well, inviting other kids to play, not adults. We do help Matthias a lot because he's got very little words.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually we want him to say, who wants to play with me? Who's going to be a great friend? So I really hope that in the future he says, who's going to be a good friend and play with me? Or share his space with others, because he struggles with that too. So
Yeah, and even the other children thinking of Matthias as a friend, like who's going to be a friend to Matthias? It's like that putting that idea in their head.
Right, yeah.
So how do you think, like, having those friendship skills would prevent challenging behavior from happening?
Well, you feel closer to that person, and it's less likely that you feel threatened by the kid, you know? So,
Like a trust.
like, you trust them, so you feel safe with them. And that prevents you from taking things or punching them. You know?
A little bit, yeah.
I love her a little bit.
A little bit.
Still
But
gonna
it's baby
happen.
steps, a little bit at a time. Anything else that you want to add, Judy?
I like that Matthias, even though it like Clay walked away, like he's still like, okay, let's keep doing this. There's other options. There's other people. So I think that's a good sign for Matthias. He's willing to like include others, and it doesn't just have to be the same guy. So that was a good.
Yeah, he's like very open to
Inviting
to
them.
new friendships. And yeah, that's awesome.
Because sometimes they tend to play with the same person over and over, or want the same person. Especially the older kids, they know who they want to play with. So that was good.
A lot of times I notice the younger kids too, and even some of the older kids, but they want to play with the teacher also, because that's kind of like easier. They know how it is to kind of play a little bit with their mom or like an adult.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So getting them to be more comfortable to play with other
With
kids
each other.
is really helpful.
True story.
Okay. All right. So now we are going to step down to the fourth part of our standing agenda, updates for the coaching action plans. So let me put my little timer. We're doing good on time. Okay. So what are some goals that we can think about?
For next year?
Yeah.
Oh.
Even the rest of this year, even if I, am not able to do a whole nother meeting, we can still implement, you can still implement some things for the rest of this year, but then I'll also be here next year. So, what are some ideas maybe that we could start the year off with?
For next year? Well, like Judy said, teach the expectations one by one, instead of just throwing them all in. And friendly is the first one. That's the foundation for school, basically.
Friendly. So we can start with friendly, and then safety, and then maybe respectful.
Sure, yeah. Because it's almost scary not to start with safety, but I feel like
Yeah.
friendly is maybe the easiest in the beginning,
Teach.
because they're all like not
Friends,
used to
friends.
sharing, and they're not. So if you stay, instead of like, oh, it's not nice when you take that away, it's like, let's be friendly. So friendly is like just a great word.
Yeah.
It just kind of softens the blow. Like, let's be friendly. Like,
And once
okay,
you
why
feel
not?
like everybody's friendly, you tend to feel more safe and be more respectful. So friendly is a good way to start.
That's a good way to start. And what do you think out of these expectations, what do you think is the one that like kids coming in for the first time are most familiar with?
Safe, because parents
I
are
was
so
thinking
focused
that
on
they-
safe.
They probably know that word already.
Like wash your hands and don't
Yeah,
climb on
safe
that.
and
Don't jump from
healthy.
that.
So it's kind of a interesting, like I just thought of that right now too. This is, that's a good idea kind of to start with friendly because you can still use the safety PDAs and they'll understand it.
So it's
For the
4,
most
right?
part.
But they've been exposed to the safety ones already,
Mm-hmm.
you think, prior to coming.
So they got it down.
It's
So it's friendly, safety, friendly.
it's like friendly / kind.
Oh,
It's safety / healthy, and then it's like respectful / responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's 3, but like also kind of
they meant
6 in a way,
Okay.
but they're very
I-
similar. But
I think I do say responsible.
I say responsible a lot.
We
I
do-
will often do friendly,
I think we
safety,
do.
and
Yeah, we do
responsible.
focus on that when they like clean up after themselves.
So-
Mhm. I've been trying to add respectful a little bit because I feel like a lot of the other centers do
Use
respectful.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Like
But
taking
I mean, that
turns.
doesn't mean don't say. I think responsible is still great. So
And responsible is going to be later on in your life. We're all
Yeah.
supposed to be responsible.
yeah, you
for
won't be
our
responsible for
homework.
certain things, and in a
That's
sense,
that.
it's similar to respectful. So
Respectful so close to friendly.
Yeah,
I
well, like
think-
taking turns is being respectful.
I
But
feel like you
that's
can be
also being
respectful with the toys, but I guess
Oh,
that's
that's
still being
right.
friendly.
Respectful
Being
with the-
respectful with the toys
With the
is still
chairs, with the toys.
caring about,
I was
you
thinking
know.
maybe we should change it to
Just responsible?
Mhm.
And at the
I
end,
think
you're
I always use
responsible.
one.
I
always
think
use
the ones
one.
that we have on the
Some-
wall are I think it's responsible.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah, we can just start here and keep going. How long do you think you want to focus on?
Just do the month,
Which
the
one?
first month.
A whole month?
Just hammer that one,
Could
and
be
then
like
hammer the
August.
next one.
September, October?
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
and then November we should be doing them all like mixed.
All alone,
Mhm.
all of them together.
Okay. So yeah, this is like a very big goal and kind of like an extended goal. We'll have probably, different meetings in between then.
Oh, okay.
Next year, I just got lost what I was gonna say, but so maybe for talking about the specific steps of this goal, maybe we'll just focus on what are the specific steps that you want to implement or will help you to implement
That.
friendly
Say
specifically.
three
Activities?
during indoor play, 3 during outside play,
Mm.
3 during
3
activity.
PDAs that
Yeah.
say.
I
Okay.
mean, right, break it down to
Yeah.
3 a transition or 3 a
Well, we want to start with kind of like small goals. We won't want to,
Yeah.
because I know we're like, okay, next year we're gonna do all this, and it's gonna be.
Break it.
Broke the thing. That's okay.
what-
But so even if we want to just start with like, okay, 3 PDAs per day each, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay.
the more you do, the better.
Mm-hmm.
You can always do more than that, but.
3 about friendly.
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning.
The beginning.
Yeah, because also, is there anything else that you want? Like, how can we intentionally teach the friendship skills in
So books,
besides PDAs? Yeah, books,
books,
You can do activities.
modeling.
books, activities.
Because I think the first week is like all about me,
modeling. Yeah.
or
So we can. Yeah, it's kind of hard because sometimes like the themes.
I know.
Because we also have a friendship theme, but
Oh,
that's
that's
not
right.
till February.
That's right. That's kind of
So
Well, that's perfect. 'Cause then we
it's-
revisit it.
that's a great
and
idea.
It keeps us
Yeah, we can
keeps
keep.
us focused. Like, just revisit
Mhm.
by February. So that might just be good.
And the great thing about the expectations is that you can really fit them into everything. So it's like even if we're talking about you, all about you, that can be part of you. It's you're friendly, you're a friend,
Oh yeah.
So it's like that is kind of a all about you situation.
yes.
So Let's see.
Who,
Make a
what, and when?
specific
All of
goal, yeah. So we want to know how you will know if you've met that goal. So 3 PDAs, that's a pretty measurable goal to do. So we can say that's one of our specific goals, and maybe we'll just do one more for now. It can either be like, these were a lot of ideas: the books, activities, modeling.
So whoever
Maybe-
has the first week of activities, right,
Should do a book.
should do a book about friendship or friendly,
Mm-hmm.
which we don't know what that's
So-
gonna look like yet.
Okay, yeah, we're not sure who's gonna be, but we could put just first week of school, start off with a friendly book.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, we kind of should.
Yeah. And do you guys have any books in mind, or is that something I
Yeah,
could
we
help
have
you
some
with?
up there.
We have a lot of
Okay.
good social emotional books.
Okay.
And if it's as simple as that little one that
Yeah, like that happy one.
it has like 5 pages with, so I think it should be that basic.
Yeah, because if we're gonna get new kids and circles are gonna be shorter.
Yeah.
At the
So
beginning.
that's true. Very easy, simple, short book that we can kind of go over a few times.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And carry on.
Activities
From
kind of
that.
go hand in hand with circle and books.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever has that first week can focus on an
Yeah,
activity about
specific
friendship.
friendship activities. Yeah. Oh, activities. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to put in the coaching action plan as a goal? Or we
That's
think
our
we kinda
goal
wanna
for.
Just kind of starting off the year.
I feel like that's a lot. The visual schedule. I feel like we already have
Yeah.
our hands full with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But Maria was very disappointed that we didn't have our schedule up.
Yeah, we.
I wish we would have kept our old one.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that
how about
it'll be easier like throughout the years if we kind of make like a template maybe,
yeah.
and then
and
we
just
just
change
switch
the
out the
pictures?
pictures.
Yes, we do have the big thing that we bought.
Mhm.
Why
I mean that would be probably a
Oh.
good
if it's
thing to start off the year with, just to have it, even if it's not a goal to go over it so completely or make a huge deal out of it, just having it and kind of going it over. We
What
can
if-
also make that like our goal for our second round, or
what if we have whoever's doing that week of activities just do activities, and whoever's not doing it can focus on taking pictures for the visual schedule. Whoever's not doing the first week of activities.
yes, perfect.
Because I think it's we already went over time. I think it's so important that we have the visual schedule.
I do too.
Yeah.
Very important.
yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
And like the template that you were saying, we can use.
I just came across some
We can
pictures.
move it around.
Mm-hmm.
And use Velcro and just Velcro the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So then next year we can remove the pictures and then put new ones.
Yeah,
If
And
we want to
thinking
keep
about
it
it
as a
now,
template.
is good, because then we'll be a little bit more prepared to think like to make a good solid visual schedule, instead of something that's kind of like last minute. So
Mhm.
I do think that is a good goal to start the friendship with, to start the school year with.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We're set to move to the next part of our thing, which is basically just
Thank you.
we did it. If I don't have to do another meeting, then I will have you guys do an evaluation. If I do, then that will be at the end of our next meeting. But I am. Yeah, I will. I have to figure out some stuff first before we think about like a next visit or confirming a next visit, so I'll get back to you guys on that.
Okay.
Is there anything that I can do for you guys to help you with these goals?
If we're doing the visual schedule,
I can get like Velcro
We need another
Um,
printer as well.
Oh yeah,
There's
photo
better
printer.
printers out there that print full size 4x6 pictures. They are expensive,
But
but
it'd be
they're
a good
actual full
investment.
size 4x6.
Do we want them that big? You don't like the little guys?
I
Well-
kinda
well,
like
that
them
one you
I
can
like
do
the
both sides,
small.
but they're
That you can't really
really
see.
bad coloring and stuff like that. I don't
But
know if that
it
would
do-
be
you
better,
can
but I
change
do
the
like them
size.
small. Oh, okay.
So you choose 4x6, 2x2, 3x3.
I just feel when they're that big, which is a good visual, but
Those are bigger.
you can't really put that. That's a 4x6. You just can't. The board has to be so big.
Yeah.
Or
I
find
like
something that prints small pictures but good, because I feel like the printer that we
So
had,
spend
the
100.
pictures, yeah,
Like
yeah.
we spent $30 on that, so get one
So
that's
the pictures
100
were
and-
blurry and kind of grayish
Yeah,
or
good
brownish. So
quality one.
get a similar size printer that prints better pictures.
You just spend money. It's all about quality. If we get a cheapy cheesy one,
It's
then
not gonna last.
Yeah.
even with the microphone, I would like to get. I feel like we could invest on a microphone
Yeah.
and get like a good quality.
Yeah.
bit of
We'll have more
quantity.
funding at the beginning of the school year too. So, and we can see.
And we're doing a fun laser.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So we can make that work. I can definitely do these things. We'll look into the photo printer. I can involve you guys in that. We can look at that together.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, that sounds awesome. So I will get the coaching action plan set up and I'll show you guys the official coaching action plan. Thank you guys for being so awesome and willing to do
Are you
all of
throwing
this
this out?
stuff,
Or you gonna
and
save
I'll
it?
keep that.
Okay.
Okay,
Beautiful.
And yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
be on it.
so
Thank you.
let's turn this off.